welcome to Animals and Birds with Anirudh. And today we have a very special guest with us who is Sriram Reddy. And today we are going to do an interview with him. And a very big thank you for joining Sriram Reddy, uncle.
Hey Anirudh, thanks a lot. It's glad actually I'm having an interview with such a young person. Glad to know to be part of this interview.
Yeah, let's begin. The first question is, what inspired you to start your birding?
I mean, I'm more like an outdoor person actually. Before I started bird watching, I used to go for a lot of hikes, trekking, and also photography trips, which are not related to birding. Mostly like architecture photography, landscaping photography, and also street photography. So we used to have a Twin Cities Photography Club, which is just like Hyderabad Birding Club. There used to be a club for photography and also for outdoor trekking and hiking. There are GHSC is there. So those I used to go for these kind of trips. In between those things, I have a friend who is actually a birder who comes for hikes. So whenever we go for hikes like Anantagiri or somewhere, I used to go to Amrabad, Anantagiri, all these places, but not for bird watching. I used to go just to see the places and enjoy its beauty. During that period, my friend who is a birder, he used to look for birds actually. Then I used to ask him, "Kya dekh rahe ho?" and other stuff. So then he used to say that he is looking for birds. Then I think during some of his trips, right? Once I think he asked me to come for his Usman Sagar trip actually. So he said that there are some birds in Usman Sagar. So he wants to photograph. He asked me just whether you are also interested to photograph these birds. I don't know what birds and other stuff. At the time, I have zero knowledge about birds and other stuff. So I just went with him just to photograph the birds in Usman Sagar. I think it's in 2015 July. During that period, 2015 July, I went to Usman Sagar, and I think first time I saw flamingos, greater flamingos, during that trip. So I think I used to have that point and shoot camera during that period. I think Sony from 50x point and shoot camera. I went there, photographed those birds, fell in love with the birds. On that day, I clicked many other birds also, which I have no clue about all the birds. All I know was the greater flamingos. That is through my friends. He told me that they are good birds to photograph. That's the moment I started clicking, and from there, I thought I'll do birding. I mean, photography, bird photography. From there, I started looking for different clubs in Hyderabad, which are mostly into bird photography and also bird watching. So I found there used to be two groups like BSAP and HVP. So whatever pictures I used to take in these trips, right? I used to post in these two groups, BSAP and also HVP. So I think one of the trips when I went to Umamaheshwaram with my friend, and that's my first trip to Umamaheshwaram, where I think I got very good shots of many good birds. I can say that most of these birds are only endemic. I mean, not endemic. I can say residents of the Amrabad. There, I mean, most of the birds which I photographed on that day, I have no clue. So I just took the pictures of, let's say, green imperial pigeon, many other pigeons, also yellow-throated bulbul. All these without knowing names, I just photographed and I used to post. So somehow then I got introduced to Hyderabad Birding Calls, and from there, no turning back. I think from there till now, I got addicted to bird watching and bird photography, both of them. I think I do regularly, almost like every week. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of.
Okay. Second question is like birding is sometimes when doing adventuring is sometimes scary and dangerous. what is the craziest wildlife adventure while birding you have ever had? Like one time we almost got lost in a forest in Meghalaya. So
Oh.
has anything happened like that to you?
Not not very crazy actually, but I think there are few incidents which happened in the field. If I remember, I think there are 3, 4 instances where I don't know whether they are really crazy or not. I think once I remember, I think in 2017, somewhere in Manjira. So Manjira Wildlife Sanctuary is famous for crocodiles and birds.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I went to backwaters of Manjira along with there are a couple of other birders like on that day Manjula and Ajinkya. These two are there. So we are done with our morning session and we thought we'll take rest on the shores of Manjira. So we saw a rock near the shore. We thought, okay, let's sit on that rock. Okay, we walked towards the rock, and while going towards the rock, I mean, we thought it is rock, and we walked towards the rock, and suddenly the rock walked and went inside water. So it's actually not a rock. It is actually a crocodile, which is actually sunbathing. We thought it is a rock. We thought we'll sit on top of that crocodile, and without knowing that it is a crocodile, and that crocodile went inside water. That's I think it happened. It was funny, but luckily it moved before we went near that. So that is one instance, and I think one more instance is at Amrabad. In Amrabad, I think it's part of Hyderabad 100, HBP's 100 bird walk. I think myself, Gopal, and Ashish, three birders, Gopal Krishna and myself. We went inside forest of Amrabad looking for birds. Along with, of course, along with us, there is a forest guard also. So we went. It's a dense forest. Without permission, you can't enter. Once we entered into the forest, near a water body, we stayed. We are resting, and during that period, I think we are surrounded by like I think 14, 15 dolls actually. So it was exciting. Of course, they're just they're coming from different directions, looking at us. But it is exciting time. Actually, it's not I can say craziest, but a good experience in the wild. I can say. So these two things I can remember in the field.
Hmm.
Anirudh.
In
So,
Amrapali, tigers
what
also.
happened? Yeah, and what happened in Meghalaya? How you lost and how you're back?
We
You have a guide.
almost got lost. No, the guide told it was very easy, so you can go on
Mhm.
your own. But we
Okay.
almost got lost in the when we saw the GPS. It was like showing we were in the middle of the jungle, and I got very
Uh,
scared.
I think once it happened during my birding trip in Lava, West Bengal. I think we have a
Mm-hmm.
guide with us, but the guide also lost its way, I think. And
Mm.
there are no signals during that period. We went in a very smooth path to a mountain, but while coming down, we are lost and we had to come sliding down a mountain actually. I think few of
Mm.
our members from HBP struggled to get down. That's also another yeah, I can remember.
Which is your favorite birding spot in India, and why?
Best thing is northeast. In that I went to Eagle Nest. Eagle Nest is like you can say paradise for birds for sure
Yeah, yeah.
because it's almost like untouched forest. I think that's one of the very few untouched forests in India. You'll definitely enjoy. Everybody will enjoy, and it's slightly toughest for birding for sure. But you'll see birds everywhere. That's a very beautiful place for birds.
Mm.
So Eagle Nest, I can say. Photography, I think there are many other spots for bird photography. So let's say Kotagiri is one good place. And in Telangana, in Andhra, there is a Maredmali. There is also a very nice place called Maredmali. That is also
Uh,
very good for birding, actually. So Maredmali, I can say, which is very close to us, and Eagle Nest. Eagle Nest, I can say the best.
but I liked no, when I went to Meghalaya in Shillong, most of the birds were new for me. So that
Mm-hmm.
Maflang Sacred Grove is a place. It's a very dense forest. That was
Mm-hmm.
a very nice spot for birding. Everywhere sounds were coming. I really
Mhm.
liked Mafran Secret Grove. Which is your favorite bird and why?
Okay. So my favorite bird keeps changing actually. I keep
Like
changing based
currently,
on
currently.
uh, I mean I select it's not favorite actually. I mean if you ask me favorite, I can say Indian pitta is one bird which was I was fascinated around 4 5 years back when I started, because that is the bird you see it in all the books, right? If you see all the Indian books,
Yeah.
most of the books you see Indian pitta. During that period, I wanted to see Indian pitta, and I saw first time at Uma Maestram. So that is when I think it's around 4 years back, during that period. Now, if you ask me, I wanted to see king quail. So king quail probably is one bird which I probably I can say it's my favorite now. Not favorite, actually, the bird which I wanted to, because owls are most of the birds, owls, right? If you ask me, species wise, I can say owls. All owls I like. Any owl, if you ask me, I like to see owls. But birds,
Hmm.
I keep one target and try to find that.
I also
Andrews.
like owls a lot.
Okay. And what's your favorite bird?
My favorite bird also keeps changing.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, it's the paradise flycatcher because it is very beautiful and it has a very long tail. Okay. Which bird do you find hardest to photograph? Photograph. Like some
Mm,
birds are hard to
yeah.
photograph, like warblers and all. But like
Yeah,
for you,
obviously, yeah, you answered actually. So, so warblers is the toughest for me also. Very difficult birds to photograph. Any warbler, you can take any warblers. I think they are the
hmm.
toughest because they're always move, and they are always in the clutter. And to take good pictures of warblers, I think it's tough. Apart from warblers, I think bitterns, and because bitterns and all these, they are always hiding most of the time. I mean, I'm talking about getting a clean picture, right? Bitterns is also
Hmm.
slightly difficult to photograph.
Crickets and swallows also. They are also very hard.
Uh, yeah, and if you ask me like this, then probably Theseus are the toughest ones.
Yeah,
So
I have not
Theseus
seen
are
TCS.
Yeah, Theseus are, I think I can say that they are the toughest because they move so fast. Warblers, at least you can see them, whereas Theseus, you never see them. Okay, you can hear them, but they move so fast and they're always hiding on the ground, in the
Hmm.
bushes. Probably, I can say, I think I can rate Theseus are the toughest when compared with Warblers.
Like you seem to be able to spot many new birds in places like common shelduck in Sanjivaya, grey-headed fish eagle in Nizamabad. How do you do this? Do you go looking for these or is it just luck?
Okay. Anirudh, actually, if you ask me, common shelduck is, I didn't find it first time. Okay. So common shelduck is found by a birder called Rama Sarvani. So she's the one who first saw it from Sanjeeva Park. So
Hmm.
after she saw the same evening, I went to see it because she put it in eBird. That's how I got a notification. So I went and said, I think graded fish eagle, it's not the first record in Nizamabad. Might be first record from our side from graded fish eagle, but it is seen previously from Pakal. It can be seen in Kawal. These places you can see graded fish eagle. Okay, not the first
Hmm.
record, but first thing, I think I added quite a few species for Telangana. It's because of my friends and I mean, myself, Gopal Krishna here, and Ashish. We three, actually, we go to new places. We try to. We are more like we try to explore new places. I mean,
Hmm.
first time I think we went to Pakal. First time we went to Kawal. For even Nizamabad, also few places nobody went there. So we try to put a location and just go there. We have nothing in mind. What will I mean keep that we are going to see so and so bird. We just go thinking that this is a good habitat for so and so birds. So we just go there and enjoy. And during that period, when you go to a new place, Anirudh, obviously you'll see new birds. That's how we always say, go to a place where nobody goes before, and probably you will end up seeing some new birds. Okay, and of course, you should know about the habitat and what are the possible. Let's say dusky eagle, which was seen in Nizamabad. That's again the first record for Nizamabad. Of course, it is seen before again by us in Pakal. First time from Telangana, it was recorded dusky eagle from Pakal. That's around 3 years back, because uh, I think we went at the right time during their breeding season. That's how we saw the dusky eagle. So going to new places, Android. So because Telangana, if you see, right, it is mostly unexplored. Very few birders are there. Whoever is there, they look for in and around Hyderabad. They don't go far. So Guppalamangama is one place which is in Khammam. So nobody has seen it. We went there, and we had a lot of species. If you see in eBird, right? I think when we first visited Guppalamangama in Khammam, I think around 3 years back, we added around 15-20 species to Telangana eBird list. So all the northeast species are added because that is the edge of northeast. You can say those species, all the woodpeckers, minivates, all that are which are there, right? Northeast birds, we can see that greenbill, mulco, all that stuff we added during that period. I think 3 years back. So going to new places, Sandhu. Any new place, if you go, you may not see it, but sometimes if you see it, you may see new birds.
I had also gone on the bird walk for in Sanjeevaya for seeing the common shelduck.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It stayed for a long period. I think 1 month. I think.
I like seeing woodpeckers and owls. This is the 7th question. How do you know where to look for woodpeckers and owls while birding in a new place? I never get to see them.
Okay. Woodpeckers, I think you can easily see it. Only thing is you need to be in the right habitat again, Andrew. So woodpeckers, they prefer wooded habitats, woodlands, any forest areas, right? You'll see it. If you go to Anantagiri, Umamaheshwaram, Nizamabad, Narsapur, all these places are a good place for woodpeckers. Any forest areas, you'll see a good number of woodpeckers. So, okay, any woodpecker, if you want to see, let's say you pick up any woodpecker, whether it is a lesser flameback or a greater flameback, or let's say lesser yellownape or greater yellownape, right? So you know, as you are familiar with eBird, you know where it was seen. Okay, let's say if you see lesser flameback, it is seen in Anantagiri and other places. So, and you know you need to read about the habitat. Once you know about habitat, right? You need to go to the right habitat, and you need to hear the calls. Okay, these woodpeckers, they're noisy. They'll call definitely during that period. You can see owls are slightly tough for sure, because they are nocturnal birds. By the time you go, so you'll be reaching any forest. Again, each owl has its habitat. Let's say Indian eagle owl prefers rocky habitats. So you need to go to boulders, all these quarry areas where you can find them. Okay, but the thing is, the timing is important because these owls, almost all the owls except 2 or 3 are actually nocturnal, or at least they are very active during the early morning and also evening time. Okay, so you need to be in that time. So when you want to see, let's say, brownfish owl or a mottled owl, right? You need to be in the field. Let's say Anantagiri, you need to be at 5 o'clock in the morning or evening 6 o'clock. Okay, morning 5 o'clock or evening 6 o'clock, because that is the time they actually they are active, because they will try to hunt during that period, early morning time, and then they go for roosting. So roosting is the time when they go to resting period, right? So during that period, they are very active that time. Of course, it is very difficult to photograph them because that there won't be any light, but you'll see them in action. I think in Anantagiri is a very good place. If you reach Anantagiri forest by 5 o'clock in the morning, right? You will definitely see brownfish owl hunting. It will hunt during that period, and we have seen it hunt. I think 2 to 3 times we have seen brown fish owl hunting. In one of the hunts we saw it hunting a snake also.
So, moving on to the 8th question. Share your story about the trip to Usman Sagar where you took stunning shots of Eurasian kestrel, which is now the best rated photo in eBird.
So during 2019, I think 2019 and 20, that's where it is not a single trip for sure. I used to make almost like weekly, weekly 3 to 4 times I used to visit Usman Sagar. And a common kestrel, right? I think male. I'm specifically talking about male because females visit every year in good numbers. I think male is first time it saw in 2018, 2019. I think March, April is the time. I think it is going while going back. It was seen first time. It stayed for a brief period, and then it came back. The same male came back in October 2019 October, and it was there till April 2020 before we are struck by pandemic and then we stopped visiting Usman Sagar. So it stayed for almost like 5 to 6 months in Usman Sagar. And this male, whatever is there, it's when compared with female, is very friendly, I can say. It is least bothered by human presence. It is not that shy kestrel. So that is the reason. So it allowed, I think probably it used to see a lot of humans every day. It allowed photographers to go near, and it almost like every day when you go there, I used to go and look for other birds. If no other bird is there, this bird is definitely will be there. So I used to photograph this bird almost like every day. I used to spend at least 30 to 45 minutes with this bird and come back. So that's how I made a lot of pictures. Probably I might have made 3,000 to 4,000 pictures of common kestrel. Even today, in fact, today I processed one of the old pictures of common kestrel. So that's the reason. I think visiting the same place again and again, and this bird once it got used to me, so I used to get wonderful pictures of this bird.
So 9th question is, my observations keep getting flagged on eBird. Do your observations get flagged?
I think everybody's observations will be flagged, Anirudh. So, I mean, mine is also, I think many times probably it might have flagged. It was flagged the initial period because I used to make a lot of mistakes. Now also I make mistakes, but I make less mistakes now. But still, they are flagged for various reasons. Most of the time now, it was flagged because when you are in a hurry to upload pictures, right? Sometimes I upload one bird picture in other things, so those things are flagged. And initially, when I started eBird, right, I used to ID myself without having knowledge of eBird. So I used to identify myself, and I used to identify. Let's say one instance where I reported yellow-throated bulbul from Narsapur. So yellow-throated bulbul is only seen from Amrabad. But I saw white-browed bulbul, thought that this yellow-throated bulbul because both has yellow in color. So I thought I reported from Narsapur. So those things it will be flagged. But again, so eBird has a good review system. It will be reviewed by local reviewers, and then after that it will be reviewed at Indian level. So data at eBird is actually filtered at various stages, Andrew. So it's not what is that? It's okay to be flat. Only thing is you learn from where you made mistakes and try to correct. So what are the your records which are flat, Anirudh?
Once I went to the Desert National Park in Jaisalmer. There I saw the guide showed us a tawny eagle. I took the photo and uploaded it. Tawny eagle looks a lot like black kite. So I uploaded it, and eBird flagged it as like, this is a black kite, this is not a tawny eagle. And still it's
Okay.
still I did not change it. It's still in eBird as black kite only.
Okay.
And
So
one time I went to Tamil Nadu. There it got flagged for some reason. Then I changed it, and it's still flagged. All of the photos of that trip are still flagged.
but I think when you have what is it any sighting, if it is flagged, right? Usually you can talk to the reviewer and find out. In the first case where you're saying that black kite and greater spotted tawny eagle, then probably that can be easily identified.
You have seen many birds in India. Which one are you currently looking for, and for what reason?
Okay, I think I answered some of the stuff. Let's say, so most of the time, right? I try to find the birds for in Telangana region. Actually, if you ask me, so I wanted to see many birds in Telangana region. So for now, I have 3 to 4 targets which I wanted, which there is a possibility of seeing them in Telangana. One is the king quail. I think I told you, right? A king quail is one
Yes.
bird I wanted to see from Telangana. Other one, brownwood owl, again from Telangana, I wanted to see. I've seen brownwood owl in Satal and also Kotagiri, but I wanted to see from Telangana. So these two birds, along with, I wanted to see grass birds. Grass birds are not to be seen in Telangana till now, but I feel that there is a possibility of seeing them. What about you, Andrew? How do you go?
I am trying to see rain quail currently.
Okay.
Last visit was in Usman Sagar. We went in like late morning. We went looking for raptors, but the water was full and we saw nothing. In eBird photos, I have seen rain quail. That kind of plant will be growing. So I searched. There also I saw the same kinds of plant, and I thought, here rain quail, maybe I can see, and I tried searching, but I could not see. So
Rain quail, this is the best time. Andrew, this is the best time to see rain quail. So first thing to see rain quail, they are very small birds. They are only very small birds. Usman Sagar is the best time. Probably again, if you go there, you may see them. Only thing is they need grass. So they are always hiding in the grass, Anirudh. So you should look for grassy habitats, and the call is very important. You should remember what is the call of a rain quail. That is the key, because you cannot see rain quail directly with eyes. You should get familiarized with the rain quail call, because they are highly vocal. Now this is the time they keep calling continuously. I think last year, I think 2020, more than 200, 300 rain quails are there in Usman Sagar. Okay, that is the time it was dry during that last year period, and everybody got good shots of rainfall. Morning and evening, both times they are active. So morning, I think they are active till 9 o'clock, based on weather. If the weather is cloudy, they'll active till 10 o'clock also. But you should remember the call. Okay, you have Merlin app, Anirudh?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Merlin, just listen to the call of rainquail, and you'll definitely will hear rainquail calling at this time in majority of the places. It could be, I don't know whether Aminpur is there or not, but you'll see from Manjira, you will hear them from Narsapur grassland areas, you'll hear them. And also Anantagiri outskirts, you can hear them. And Usman Sagar and Himayat Sagar are the best places to see rainfall.
Some more birds I want to see a lot is Indian eagle owl, Savannah nightjar, and blue throat.
Okay, blue throat, again, you need to wait till winter. You need to wait till winter. Then again, blue throat can be seen from Aminpur. Manjira is also a very nice place. And what is the other bird? Indian eagle owl. Indian eagle owl, as I said, right, habitat is the key. You need to go to quarries, rocky quarries, and then search for Aminpur is also a nice place to see Indian eagle owl. So once you read about the habitat, it becomes easy for you to find birds.
The last question, and which is the 11th question, is you take amazing bird photos. What is your secret and how did you learn photography?
Mm, I mean, as I said, right, before I was into bird watching, I have some knowledge of photography. I think as I said, right, I used to take photographs of friends. I used to take architecture photography, landscape photography. I used to do all that stuff. Bird photography is like an addition, so which I already have some basics of light and other stuff. So that's the reason it became easy for me. But of course, bird photography is a challenge when compared with other because birds keep moving. They're never still, and you need better light, better situation, better hands, everything. So you learn it, Anirudh, once you spend more time, right? And with experience, once you understand birds and their behavior, and when you familiarize with birds, you know that okay, the key is always approach them very slowly. Instead of when you see a bird, right, you should give enough time for you to go near them. So instead of rushing towards the birds, right, if you give enough time, when you approach the bird, if you spend good amount of time, go slowly towards them, that's when you get good pictures. So initially, when you miss some good shots, so you learn from that. So learning is a key while for good photography. You should know when a bird flies away. You should know. You should ask yourself why it flew and what are the reasons, and try to improve upon that. And then try not to make that mistake when again you get an opportunity to photograph. So always approach them slowly when it comes to bird photography. There is nothing secrets, Anirudh. One, you need to spend more time in the field. You need to get a lot of opportunities, and you need to be at the right place. So some places are very good for photography. If I ask it, if you go to Bharatpur, you get a lot of opportunities to photograph common birds because birds are in very good numbers. So you even if you miss one or two chances, you get a lot of chances to photograph them. Bharatpur, Pulikat, even Kakinada, Koringa. These are the places where in winter you get good number of birds and you have a lot of opportunities. And always when if you want to do photography, go alone or go with one more person. Go as I mean, you should the group should be very limited, one or two people, not more than that, because the chances will be more. The birds also will be comfortable with less members.
Can you give me some tips and tricks to for taking good photographs?
Okay, tips and tricks. Do you have binoculars?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So for photography, first key thing is you need to find bird before the bird finds you. Okay. So use binoculars. See where is the bird bit far. Okay. So let's say you spotted a bird which is far. Then you should plan yourself how to approach that bird. So always the birds are more comfortable when you crawl instead of walking directly. When you crawl or when you lay down, right? They're more comfortable. You are less threatening for the birds. So always when you reach a point, so stay low and try to approach them. Okay. The other key part is all the birds when they're busy. It means that when the bird is looking for prey, or when the bird is not looking at you, when the bird is busy preening itself, during that period you should try to go approach the bird. Understood? When they look at you, you should stop. You shouldn't move. When they are not looking at you, try to approach them. Understood? Approach is the key, Anirudh. Okay, and never approach directly into the bird. Try to go. Let's say if you're in a car, you should never take your car straight to the bird. Always go in a haphazard mode. Okay, zigzag mode, and slowly go towards them. Always key is not to make sudden movements. Approach very slowly. Always keep low. Okay, these are the some of the things. Okay, and for good photographies, you should also look for light. Actually, go in the morning when light is with you. Okay, light should be very golden light. I think that's what in the morning time when you go for photography, right?
Golden hour.
You should use golden hour is when you need to go for and spend time in the field.